Good morning again. Welcome back into my kitchen, Cooking with Carol Diane. Oh, the temperature has settled way down. We're going to have a little thunderstorm, I think, today and tomorrow. What do I do on those days? I take advantage of turning on my oven. I really do. And what am I going to show you today? I'm going to show you how to make a homemade black cherry pie, because I showed the video of going to the farmer's market and getting these wonderful black cherries. Not just regular bean cherries. These are the black cherries. These are the real dark ones. And oh, they're so tasty. They really are. So before I begin the homemade pie crust, because yes, you can go to the grocery store and buy just the box already made kind, but this morning I thought I would go back in time and show you how I was taught how to make a pie crust. I mean, it's pretty simple. And I want the little extra thickness to it to hold the thickness of the cherry pie filling. So, first thing you need to do with the cherries, of course, is to wash them. And then you have to get the pits out of them. How do you get the pits out of them? Well, a couple different ways. If you have one of these handy dandy things, which is a cherry pitter, it's called, that's great. And I've had mine for years. I really have. In fact, the box to it is called, I didn't look this up on Amazon, but this was a Westmark Kernex. It just comes in a little box like this. And you can find very similar ones to this. I don't know if that brand name will come up on Amazon or not, but you can find these. I'll probably put a link on my website, cookingwithcaroldiane.com, under the gadgets, so that you can get one of these. Because not only if you're not going to do it for any kind of a pastry, pie, whatever, they're just great to have instead of your teeth, you know, getting that seed out. So what do? You would take the cherry, you remove the stem. You put the cherry right down here in the little holder, just like that. And then you pop it, and the seed comes right out. Yeah, I'll see right there. Comes right out. Then you can start putting your cherries in a bowl. And I'm going to need quite a bit today, if I can do it. Hey, there it is. There's a cherry. Handy little dandy gadget, isn't it? It's like, where's this been all my life? If you don't have one of these, then certainly you can use, people have used a straw. I don't really recommend them. I don't think they're strong enough. The end of the barbecue skewers, you can use that, chopsticks, whatever, as long as whatever you've got will go in the hole and push it out. Yes, it can get a little messy as far as the juice, and that's why I like this. I mean, really, push it down. Okay, got on there, huh? Push it down. Yes, you're going to have some of the juice in your hand, whatever. But at least I've got them all pitted, ready to go. And I can start eating these at any time, just like this. So I'm going to need, I'm going with 6 cups of black cherries for my pie filling today. So after I get my 6 cups, which will be like this. I measured out that whole box that I had that I showed you. Here's 6 cups of the black cherries. I'm going to do this whole thing and get it pitted and ready to go, and then I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm on to making my crust, my pastry crust, pie crust for the pie. What will you need? Well, let's just start with the pie pan first. So I'm going to use the one that I did, I don't know, I can't remember what I cooked in this, to tell you the truth, because I've made so many videos, I've kind of lost count. But it's the one that had the apple pie recipe in here, and it's just a good size pie pan for this. I'm going to take some Crisco shortening and a paper towel, and I'm going to grease my pie pan. I definitely want my pie to come out of this pan fairly really easy, you know, all the way around. That wasn't hard, was it? Pretty simple. Step one, getting your pie dish ready. Step two, this is like pie pastry 101. Take a bowl, any bowl. You're going to need 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Pour that into a mixing bowl. Done. Out of the way. Now you're going to need 8 tablespoons is what I'm using for this one. So use real butter, please. Do use real butter. Unsalted if you have it. If you don't, okay. We are going to put a little salt in this. So I usually buy salted butter. Take the butter. This is 1 full cube of it. And 2 tablespoons, which makes my 10 tablespoons. That out of the way. Take a knife and start cutting your butter into little cubes. What do I mean by little cubes? You'll take it like this, cut it again, and you can cut it again. Put that into your bowl, all of it, because that's what you're going to need. Now, there has been times that I have used my little vintage grater to do this, but I just kind of wanted to go back and show you, this is how I learned from my mom, watch my grandma do it. It's pretty easy. You are going to need very cold butter. That's the key, they say, whoever they is. Many cooks before me have said, use cold butter, cold ingredients to make a pie crust. Did they do that back in the pioneer days? No, I don't think so. And by the way, they didn't use butter, they didn't use shortening, they used lard to make their pie crusts. Look it up. Talk to anybody back, way back, and they'll tell you the same thing. My grandmothers, one of them I know for sure, baked everything like this with lard. My oatmeal cookies, the original recipe is with lard. But we've modernized everything. We like the taste of butter. We seem to like it for our arteries better than lard. Don't know. I don't know. But on the chuck wagon, the true cowboy, he's going to use lard. The true pioneer woman is going to use lard. Just do this. Cut them up as tiny as you possibly can. I'm trying to work as hard as I can here. Yesterday, I think I got a little heat stroke yesterday. I really did. I am not going to go out in this mini city, 60,000 people, and go shopping again when it's 96 degrees. Ridiculous. But husband had some errands he wanted to do, and it's like, oh my gosh, it just about killed me. It really did. Okay, that's just that part. Now I'm going to take, believe it or not, I am going to take 1/4 cup of just solid Crisco shortening and add that in there. 2 little different things. We're going to add some salt because, like I said, if you have salted butter, then omit it out, okay? But if you don't, then go ahead and put 1.25 teaspoons of salt right in there. Now, which do you prefer? Well, because I'm vintage and I like the vintage things, I will use this pastry cutter. But for many years and how I grew up, a fork. Truly, you're going to take it and you're going to start smashing that butter now And I did forget one thing. Wouldn't you know, I get ready. I had to show about the pitted cherries. I have to go get a little water. I really do. I have to go get a little water. I'll be right back with the water. Okay, so I have a little bowl here, and that's really all you want to do, is you want to just take a little bowl, put some ice water in it, and have it on hand. Now, you continue to get that butter, where it's not a little chunk size anymore. Now it's what they call pea size. And again, whether I use the fork method or I get a pastry cutter and I use that. Either way, I think the cowboys out on the trail had a pastry cutter. I think they might have. Because these are vintage. The ones I have anyway. I think that's what they used. Could have been just a fork. Could have been. All right, now my mixture is very, it kind of looks like sand now. It really does. It looks kind of like sand now. Now we're going to start adding the water. 1 tablespoon at a time. Okay, so put it in, 1, mix it around, 2, 3. You want to get the mixture where you can kind of pick it up and it smashes together in your hand. I'm going to go back to my fork. What, 4? Now I know I said 10 tablespoons. Just allow yourself some extra on here. Is that 5? Is it there yet? I don't know. Let's see. Not quite, it's still pretty crumbly. So let's go ahead and get some more ice water without the ice cubes. Let's do 1 more here, that'd be about 6, 7, 8. Let's go maybe 8. A little better, isn't it? Let's go 9. And let's go 10. Better. There it is, right there. So that was my 10. Now what do I do? Clean up my mess. Always clean as you go. That's how I was raised. All right, now I like to put mine out on, yes, a pastry cloth. These things are wonderful, and I've just worked with them all my life. I really have. I'll grab a little bit more flour that I should have had on reserve that I didn't, because that's how I do things. Let's put it in another measuring cup. So we want a little bit of flour to put down on the board. Smooth that out. People have asked, well, what is that on your rolling pin, Diane? It is a rolling pin sleeve. See, here's just my rolling pin. But these little things that sometimes, most of the time anyway, the ones I order, when I order a nice pastry cloth, the sleeve will come with it in the package. And these things are great because then all of your dough doesn't really stick onto the wood part of your rolling pin. And that's what you want. Okay, so let's get it where I can form it in the bowl. I want to get it, or I can get it out of the bowl in kind of a big clump. Round ball is what I want to say. Can't think here lately on words. Maybe it's the heat. Maybe it's frying my brain. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so here it is. You don't care if it's still a little crumbly. That's fine. The last little bit of ingredients here on here. You want to form it into the ball. And like I said, I'm not too worried about that. Don't seem to have my pastry cutter out either. Well, Diane is just not with it this morning. Pastry cutter. Cut it in half. Your pie needs a top and a bottom. Look at this. Now, to do this the way everybody else kind of does it, and the way I am going to do it today, because I need some time to pit all those cherries. So I'm going to take some saran wrap. And I'm going to put my dough in the saran wrap, roll it up, and stick these in the refrigerator to get cool so that my butter sets up some more and stays nice and cold, so that when I'm ready to roll it out, it's going to be great. That wasn't hard, now was it? Really? A couple little steps there. You've done it on your pastry cloth, or if you don't have one of these, go ahead and put it on your counter with a little flour. This is what I love about pastry cloths. Now I can clean up this mess with the pastry cutter. It's all ready to go. And when I come back in about 30 minutes or so, then I'll show you how I'm going to roll this out, put it in the pie pan, and then the edge that I'm going to use. I'll be right back. Okay, we're on to part 3, step 3 of doing this homemade black cherry pie. And what do we need now? You need a pan, because you're going to cook this. There are recipes out there that you put it all together, just a cold method, and put it in a pie, but I'm not doing that with mine. Grab the cherries right quick. They have been all pitted and washed. So 6 cups of pitted cherries was 105 cherries. I counted for you. You're going to put all that into a nice pan. Turn your fire on pretty high, because you are going to boil this. Into this, you're going to need 1/4 cup of water. And I'm going to let that cook now until it gets to a boil, and not only a boil, but also where it looks frothy looking. And when it does that, then I'll pop back on and show you the rest of the ingredients that go in this little pot. Okay, it's now to that frothy stage. You can see foam on the top of it. Now take a cup of sugar, regular sugar, add that to it. Stir it around. Because these are fresh black cherries right off the tree, you can help it along a little bit by smashing down. Take a potato smasher and smash down just a little bit of the cherries. But I kind of want mine big in the pie. All right, you're gonna let this cook 7 or 8 minutes in here, because you need the You need the sugar now to cook down into the water and the syrupy mixture. While that's doing that, get you a little bowl. Take 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. I put mine in my nice little vintage jar. It lasts longer. It really does. There's 1 in those boxes. 2, 3. 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. And then you're going to take about 5 tablespoons of just water. Add that to your cornstarch and mix that around. You want to get all of the clumps, the hard pieces of the cornstarch out of there. So mix that around. While this is continuing to boil and do its thing. Okay? It's looking real nice. It smells wonderful. Really does. I'm glad I did this project today on a cool day. I really am. And I've got to use up those cherries before they go bad. But this is my pie filling mix. Now I want to thicken it up, and that's what cornstarch does. It thickens up things. So now add the cornstarch in there. Every bit of it. The foam will disappear as it starts thickening. It went just a shade lighter in color, not much. Let's see all that. Just a little bit. We need this to thicken up, so I'm going to keep it on the heat a minute while it thickens. And it's getting there. Getting there, getting there. You don't want a runny pie. How many of us have had that happen? Runny pie. Thickening up a lot more now. Now it's getting to that point. I want it just a little bit more, not much. You don't want to scorch the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off the heat part. Keep stirring it around. Oh yeah, see, it's getting real nice now. Now you want to add, I'm going to add a little bit of, about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I really thought I got all the seeds out of these. I see one in there. And that's another thing, folks, when you're doing the pitting on your cherries, those little cherries will fool you. So make sure that that pit either falls into a dish or paper towel or whatever you're putting it on, falls into your hand or whatever, so that you know that you got all those pits out. So that somebody's not cutting a slice of your pie and eating it and, oh my gosh, breaking a tooth or choking to death on some pit that was left in there. Okay, and now I'm going to add 1/2 of a teaspoon of almond extract, a good amount. You know, I don't really have that much in here. I'm just going to add that little bit because that one's done. That's your pie filling right there. Now, you do need to let this cool down before you put it in your pastry. Otherwise, you'd have a soggy bottom to your pastry. So while this is cooling down, I'll pop over to my other counter and I'll get out the pastry and start rolling it out ready for my pie. If you weren't making a pie, if you were doing, I don't know, little turnovers or any other kind of pastry, this would be great too. Let it cool down. If you wanted to save this for later and you want to make your pie later on, put it in a sterilized mason jar, put it in a mason jar and do the water bath method for about 10 minutes And then you'll have it for Thanksgiving or whenever, you know, you want your pie filling. So I'm going to pop back on now and let's roll out that dough. All right, back over here on my counter. Went and made me some nice hot tea this morning while I'm waiting for my pie filling to cool. Tastes so good. It's getting a little muggy. I kid you not. So I'm going to get through this so that I can turn on my AC. Even though it's a muggy day, I'll turn it on. Even if I turn it on the vent, it'll help with the circulation. I have my ceiling fan on right now. So I hope you can hear me. Okay, so let's just start with the bottom part of the pastry. Went and got it out of the refrigerator. Let's get it now onto our pastry cloth, and let's add just a little bit more flour down here. A little bit more flour. Oh yeah, nice and cold. Nice and cold. Go ahead and put those loose ends back in here. Back in here. I want my pie pastry to come out flaky and nice. And that's why I don't do it too long as far as getting the butter all in there mixed together. Roll it out like you do any other pastry. Now again, and I always kind of crimp the edges here to keep it all together. This is real pastry, not the store-bought. You got to work with it just a little bit more than those store-bought ones. Pull it all out. The same size as what you're going to do, a little bit bigger than your pie pan's going to be. Keep it all together. Yep, can't tell you how nice my kitchen smells right now with this black cherry. It's pretty nice. Not just the cherries of, like I said, the Bing cherries, they're good too. But there's something about these black cherries. I like a really good homemade blueberry pie. I always have. That is my favorite pie above all pies, is a blueberry pie. Next would come probably strawberry rhubarb is another real good favorite of mine. And lots of cream pies that I like. I really do. I love homemade, everything homemade. But when you can't have homemade and you've got store-bought or you've got some restaurant or something, coconut cream is a good one. Key lime is a good one. My strawberry cream that I made for you the other day, wow, that one was pretty good, let me tell you. It really was. It was just so refreshing tasting. You got a little boo-boo over here. He doesn't want to cooperate with me this morning. That's all right. We'll get it to do it in the pie pan. Okay, now take your pie pan. Lift and put your dough in. That's simple. That simple. The only thing is that you've got to make sure it comes up enough on the edges to hold everything. That's the main thing, is to hold everything. Yeah, this one's going to be nice and flaky. Nice and good. Then I'm going to take a little knife and come around and clean it up on the edges by cutting off the raggedy edges. Raggedy, raggedy. On here. Some of them not so bad. Now see, that wasn't too hard, was it? Just come along your edges of the pie pan and get it where it's fitting in the pan. That's the bottom part. Right there. How does my stuff look? It's looking pretty good. It really is. You want it where you can take the back of the spoon and go just like that. Wow. Very good. This one's pretty close to being ready to done. Let me grab my top crust now. Top crust coming up. Coming up, coming up. Get it out and do the same thing with it. Form it. Another drink of my hot tea. Doggies are inside today trying to be cool. Also, I don't really let them go out a lot. I mean, they have to go out, but I don't let them go out a lot when it's really hot out. They're little dachshunds, you know, and they get hot. And especially my Cocoa Bean that has all that fur. Oh my gosh. I don't shave him, you know, cut him or anything during the summer. I like his long hair, and I know he gets hot. And the ritual with my dogs, because they do sleep on the bed with me at night, is, hush, 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 hush. The ritual with them is that I will wash them off every evening. I take, go see what they're marking at right quick. Sorry for the interruption. Had to go give the dog a bone, ×2. Anyway, what I do with them at night on a hot summer night, or anytime really, just anytime, is I will get a nice warm washcloth and bathe them, you know, just kind of wipe them down, give them like what's called a little spit bath before they go to bed. They love it. Start with their little face and get their little eyes all nice and washed and cleaned. And Cocoa Bean, I just take his little ear like this with all that long fur, you know, and I'm scrubbing his little fur on that. He just loves it. And then they're ready for bed. They're all cooled down. Yes, the AC is on at night, and they're ready to go. And they just sack out in bed at night. They really do. That's the routine with the dogs. The routine with me, get that AC going. Last night was an enjoyable night, laying in bed watching TV of the CMA Country Music Association Fest was going on in Nashville at the big Nissan football stadium. Oh gosh, I enjoyed that. I hope some of you caught that, because it's amazing what music can do to people, of putting them in a good mood, putting that smile on their face. And, you know, they always show who's in the crowd and, you know, how they're liking the music and all that. And I'll tell you what, everybody was just having a really nice time. Last weekend here was Country Jam. I don't go to Country Jam. I don't go where it is because it's too dang hot out there. And I just don't, I couldn't take the heat anymore of doing that. But this one of this stadium, that didn't look too bad. And of course it was at night. And that looked real nice to go to that. Having a really, really good time. Jelly Roll was there. And he sings that one song, the sad one, where, oh dang, it's left me with the title of it. I should know that, because they play it all the time on the radio. It makes me cry, it really does. All about hard times, you know, and give up on me because I'm no good and all that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, but it's true. It's really true. And so many people have hardships or whatever, down on their luck. And I'm sure it hits a lot of people when you listen to that song, that they can relate to the song. And he's such a funny man. He really is. Okay. Ready for the pie filling now. So let's begin. Let's take this nice cherry pie filling and put it in the pie pan. and get all of it, really. You want every drop of what you just made. 105 cherries is 105 cherries, and you want them all. Oh yeah, that looks pretty nice. I'll set this in my sink. Looky there. Tiny bit still warm, but not where I'm gonna worry about it, really. I'm not gonna worry about that. Now we're gonna take the top crust of the pie, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it over the pie, just like so. And then I'm gonna come along and do the same thing. I'm gonna cut off all this extra that we don't need. Make your little pin rolls, your cinnamon sugar pin rolls with them. That's always good. Now, it's true, I took a little extra time of making the pie crust. But again, this is kind of a heavier pie. You know, I've got a thicker ingredient in here that I don't want it with those ones, Pillsbury or whatever they are, Pepperidge Farm, I can't remember what they are, of the pie crusts that are already made that you get at the grocery store, because I don't want it leaking out and doing all that. I really don't. All right, now take your crust. I like to go under with mine just a little bit. You can feel the bottom crust when you do this. When you start to get it under, you can feel it. And what your top crust is doing is really just kind of, it's an edge sitting right under that bottom crust. And holding everything together. All right, now I've shown this 1,000 times, but for those that are just starting to view me on YouTube or Facebook, last night I tried again to get a couple more of my videos to download on Facebook, and it just wouldn't do it. I got one. I think I got the flank steak on there, but that was about it. So most of my videos, yes, are going to be on YouTube, my channel. Push the subscribe button when you're watching me. Push that little bell, because what does that do? The next video that I make, it's going to give you a little notification on your phone, and you're going to say, uh-oh, Diane's made another video. Let's tune in and see what other crazy things she's made in her kitchen. I don't know. But you got to push that subscribe button. On Facebook, it's the follow, that you would follow me. Take index finger, these two fingers, your thumb and another index finger. Pinch your dough like this, mixing a cute little scalloped edge all around your pie. Now, my videos here lately, gosh, when I first started out, I was doing everything vertical so that people could just watch it on their cell phone. But I have a really good friend who's older. She's older than me. That said, Diane, I have a smart TV, and I like to sit at night and watch videos on my smart TV in the living room. And it doesn't come through very well when you're, up and down, but you go the long ways like a landscape, and I can see everything. It's so much clearer and better. And I said, for you, I will do that. If that's what it takes for you to watch my videos and enjoy them, you betcha. So that's kind of why my videos are like they are. If you're watching on your phone, just turn your phone long ways. It'll still work, it really will. Okay, now I'm going to make some slits in this to release that steam to come out. So this one I'm gonna make a little longer than I do like my blueberry pie or an apple pie or whatever. I'm gonna have them come all the way about like that. Like that. Now I'm going to take, it's an egg wash method, but it's the yolk. So get you a yolk of an egg, add about a tablespoon of milk, not water, but milk. Swish that around. And now you're going to brush your pastry with this mixture. That's going to make it come out really golden brown and nice. Get it all the way around. And I know you guys like these, but I'll tell you the ones that I like. I truly do like a clean, fresh paintbrush. I get mine at Harbor Freight all the time. And see, I just like it better on the pastry. I think it doesn't tear it up on the pastry. And that's what I like. Now, while you've made your pastry and have made all of this, you needed to have set your oven, which I should have told you at the very beginning of my video, 425. Preheat that oven to 425. Get all the edges around, all of it. Take some sugar. Sprinkle some sugar on top. Okay, there's your pie. Now we're going to bake this pie for about an hour, hour and 15 minutes, somewhere in there. You will know when it's done, when it's all golden brown. I am going to place my crust shield on here. If you don't have one of these, which I think I have this on my website, cookingwithcaroldiane.com, under the gadgets. If I don't, this one's by Mrs. Anderson, actually, and it just says Pie Crust Shield. And I've used them for years, I really have. But if you don't have one of these, or a couple of them like me, then put some foil. Just put some foil. I am going to put this on a cookie sheet to put in the oven. Now I'm going to set it here, open my oven, put my wonderful pie in here, and set it for, well, an hour. But like I said, I'm going to do an hour and 15 minutes, I'm pretty sure. And then I will come back after that and show you what the pie looks like when I get it out of the oven. Probably have another cup of tea. Did making a pie wear me out? No. I'm just very tired today from yesterday of the heat being so hot, but I needed to get these cherries done on a cooler day so that I can turn on my oven. But I'll be back when the pie is done, so hang on. Well, folks, the pie is out of the oven. It took less, in fact, I need to shut that off right quick. It took less time than what I thought. So go a good, I set my timer for 50 minutes. I always do. Even when it says an hour and whatever, I set it for about 50 minutes and I keep an eye on it. And so at the 45 to 50 minutes is when you really need to look at your pie. You really do. I took the guard, the pie guard, lose my brain. I took it off and here's my nice pie now. All ready to go. Now I won't cut into it right now because I do want everything to set in there. So a little later, I will cut this open and show you what the slice of pie looks like, and I'll put that on the end of the video also. If you have a chance to go get one of these of your cherry pitters, do order that on Amazon. I looked that up and oh my gosh, it's called the craziest thing. It's called a cherry stoner on a lot of the other ones, but you will see this type on Amazon. It just may not be Westmark Kernex. I don't know. Like I said, I've had this thing for a very, very long time and it worked great, even though it was 105 of the cherries, and I have a whole another bowl yet to go. Husband called and he says, did you make your pie yet? Yeah, I did. And he says, well, how many did it take? Do we have some left? Because he really likes to munch on them just like candy. I said, yeah, there's a whole nother bowl full. Whether I make another pie or whether we just snack on them, or we go get some more, from, that was Field to Fork on his fruit stand that we got those. But I'm pleased with my little pie. I really am. I should make a whole bunch of these and freeze them so I don't have to do all this come holiday time. Or like I said, put the filling part in a mason jar and do the water bath and reserve them that way so that I can have them later on for whatever I want to do, whatever pastry or a pie or whatever I want to do. I did think of the song Name that Jelly Roll sang like last night on that CMA Fest. It's called Save Me. Gosh, listen to that song. I mean, sometimes it just kind of touches you because you think, I have felt like that so how many times in my life, you know, that, yeah, just give up on me, you know, because I've been through so much or done so much or had hard times or whatever. And you wouldn't know it by looking at me, but I have. I really have. I'm a well-seasoned woman, and I've been down the road on a few things. I'm still learning on different things. People, especially, I'm learning about their personalities. That just kind of cracked me up, but I'm dealing with it. I really am. But today I wanted to pop on, have a nice cup of tea, which I'm still working on. This is my second cup now. Have a nice cup of my peppermint tea and show you how to make. I'm going to sneeze again. Pardon me. I always seem to do that on a video. Show you how easy it is to make a homemade crust. Show you how to make, if you've gone out and picked these cherries off the tree or somebody gave you some fresh picked cherries or you bought them in the grocery store, however you know you've received your cherries, cook them, make something with them, or just, yeah, pop them in your mouth and eat them. Either way, you're going to enjoy the fruit. I know you are. I have a feeling we're going to be going back and getting more cherries. I really do. And whatever else he has, you know, for that day at his fruit stand. But I hope you've enjoyed my little video. I hope you catch me on my website, cookingwithcaroldiane.com, and seeing all the other videos that I have made. Some of them I have put the nice pictures of the final product on my website. Most of them I've just put, you know, watch the video again. I don't like to put recipes in the description area or on my website because I am making a second cookbook and they're all going to be in that cookbook. And I want you to buy the cookbook if I ever get it finished, which I'm still working on. I really am. Along with all the other things that you do during summer time that fill your days. And I hope your days are filled with projects or something that you're doing and you're staying out of the heat. Stay under that cooler and stay out of the heat. But this is from my kitchen to yours. You've been watching me, Carol Diane, and that's who I am. And this is my channel on YouTube where I cook all kinds of different things, and I hope you enjoy them. So today was the black cherry homemade pie. Go make one. You won't regret it. You really won't. Just tasting it in the pan, it was like, I can't wait for it to cool down so I can have a slice of pie. Put a dollop of nice, maybe vanilla ice cream on it, or the French vanilla is really, really nice. Or, you know, put the whipped cream on it, whatever, or eat it just plain, whatever you want to do. But enjoy whatever you have made because it's made with your own hands, and that's the best part. I'll catch you next time on Cooking with Carol Diane. Bye-bye.